Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And here I am stuck in Vermont. It could, when I told C, she just said, it could be worse. It could be worse. Not a bad place to be. Yeah. So on these Wednesday mornings, what I like to do is like we start with the wisdom from others, constantly being a student. If I can have a mindset of lifelong learner and being a lifelong student, I think my life is better. I also heard about hearing tests. So how do we listen actively? So this time I chose the Dalai Lama's little book of wisdom. So I'm picking a little paragraph from this book. And I did like the other one better. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop reading this one. Just because I don't really like it doesn't mean it's not helpful. So I'm going to continue working with this book because it's not painful. There's some discomfort, but it's no pain. And then eventually I might learn more from it. Okay. The important thing is to use human intelligence and judgment, and to be mindful of the benefits for long-term and short-term happiness. Up to a certain point, the body itself is a good indicator. For instance, if some sort of food causes you discomfort one day, then later you will not want to consume that type of food. It seems that at a certain stage, the body itself can tell us what is suitable for well-being and happiness and what is not. So what I'm hearing when I'm reading this passage is interoceptive yoga, the ability to listen to the body and use the body as guidance. And so that is one of the things we practice when we do the physical practice of yoga, to listen to the body, notice how it feels, and all the information the body is giving us, use that to decide how I want to move. That's what I heard, and I'm sure that you guys heard probably other things. I do hear some background noise, so if someone is not muted, this could be a good thing, a good time to mute. Okay, so let's find a seat, sitting up tall. Maybe you move the heels and the toes, maybe spread the toes and remind yourself of the connection to earth. It's always there. Sometimes we forget and we kind of fly off into worry and anxiety. And then reminding yourself of the connection to earth by lifting the heels, lifting the toes. That's one way. And then if you want to, you could bring your awareness to your breathing. Maybe notice the inhale, notice the exhale. And right now, what kind of breathing are you using? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it shallow? Is it deep? And what does that tell you? What information is your breathing giving you? And then if you want to, you can shift your awareness to the two sitting bones, two stable, steady, strong sitting bones. Maybe shift the weight a little bit from side to side just to see that you have one sitting bone on the left and another on the right. And then eventually finding balance in between the two sitting bones. In between the two sitting bones is the root chakra, the root that keeps us grounded into earth. Maybe imagine how your root chakra is connected to the core of earth. A power like gravity that keeps you here on earth, keeps you here on earth. And on earth, I heard the nurse talk about the senses. On earth, we use all the five senses to experience the world on earth. And then after a while, we let go of the senses, and once again, we return to the universe and we get a break. We go on vacation, and then we come back again. If you want to, you can use your hand to remind yourself of the pit of the belly. So the pit of the belly goes in and up, in and up, in and up. Internal support, allowing the spine to grow up, grow and lengthen. Maybe follow that growth all the way up. Notice how the crown of the head is reaching up towards the sky. Sometimes it can be helpful to place a few fingers on top of the crown of the head and kind of push the crown of the head up towards the sky. And when you do that, maybe notice how the sitting bones are pushing into earth. So one force is going down and the other one is going up, growing, lengthening the spine. And then if you want to, you can imagine how you're from the crown of the head, how you drop down a couple of inches to midbrain, third eye, or your mind's eye. So when the sense of physical seeing, when that kind of disappears, you can still see with your mind's eye. So what do you see with your mind's eye? What kind of wisdom are you receiving? And then if you want to, you can place one hand on your belly, maybe one hand on your back. And then bringing your awareness to your breathing again. And this time, first notice the breathing. And then we can change our breathing. So maybe if you want to, you could try to lengthen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. And then notice how the belly and the back, they're both expanding on the inhale. And on the exhale, they're moving closer to the spine. So maybe notice how the body is expanding on the inhale and releasing on the exhale. If you want to, you can experiment with allowing the back to expand more or the belly to expand more. And maybe notice what is easier for you. Is it easier to expand the belly or is it easier to expand the back? If you want to, you can change the hands and then try again. And then release, maybe place the hands on your knees, and then start the cat-cow movement. Inhale into the back bend, exhale and round. Inhale into your back bend, exhale and round. And you can move fast or slow. That's your choice. You don't have to use the same rhythm as I do. And then eventually finding your way back to neutral. And then adding the blinking, bubbling stars, blinking, bubbling stars. Looking at your hands, bending and stretching, all the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, breathe. If you want to, you can bring awareness to the sides of your body, and then maybe you reach and notice how the sides of your body are stretching. Maybe even go deeper inside the body and imagine noticing how the lungs are stretching, waking up, stretching the lungs, allowing more oxygen to enter the lungs and therefore the blood. And then reach high, 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 turn to one side, let the arms go wide, look behind you and breathe. And then release, shake it out, maybe lift the shoulders a few times. And then blinking, bubbling stars. Maybe notice how the lower arms are working pretty hard to create blinking, bubbling stars. All the way up, clasp the hands, turn them over, breathe. Maybe reach and notice how the sides of your body are stretching and waking up. And then turn to the other side, bring the arms wide, fingertips are moving away from each other, look behind you. Breathe. And then release, lift the shoulders a few times. Okay, now look at your fingers, all 5 fingers, and then take the fingers, place the fingers in paint. Maybe I'll have some paint here today. I may paint. Take a color, get all those fingers very full of color, and then draw, first starting with like following the recipe. 3, 2, 1. And after that, you can do whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. So use that paint and draw a beautiful picture, or draw a picture. You can draw anything you like as long as you don't hurt yourself or others. And then release. Pick the other hand. Pick the same or a different color. And make sure you get paint on all those 5 fingers. All the 5 fingers. Could be the same color or maybe 5 different colors. And then starting with the basics. 3, 2, 1. And when you've done or learned the basics, you can do whatever you want, as long as you don't hurt yourself or others. And then release. Okay, into the desert. Cactus arms, going from side to side, twisting motion. And then from the desert, it's very dry there, so now we need some water. Let's go swimming. So reaching forward. And then we want to swim backwards for a while. Eventually, the knee and the elbow gets to meet. The knee and the elbow gets to meet. So lifting the knee, letting the knee and elbow connect. We start with same side, and then if you want to, you can cross the midline. So opposite knee, opposite elbow are connecting. If you want to, you can do a balancing posture. Pick one knee up and then the other. The pit of the belly goes in and up, and then maybe bring the arms up too. Maybe let the knee and elbow connect. That's a possibility. Or you can try with one side first and then try the other. And then release. Okay, blinking, bubbling stars again. Blinking, bubbling stars all the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, breathe. Look up. And then release the fingertips out wide into airplane. Inhale, turn the palms up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. And this time, place the hands behind you, holding on to your lower arms or your wrists or something. And then stay here. Breathe. And then after a while, release one hand, bring it up and over and find the place between the shoulder blades. Yeah. And then the other one comes up and maybe place that hand on top of the first hand. And stay here, breathe. Maybe notice if it's harder or easier to breathe here. And then release the arms down. Okay, now bring the feet wide, so a little bit wider than your hips. And then start to transfer the weight from sitting bone to sitting bone. Knowing that we have choice, you have choice. Sometimes we go for pleasure, sometimes we go for pain. Sometimes we go for pleasure and pain, or black and white. And somewhere in between those two are balance or peace. If I go all the way over to pain and then I create a circle, eventually I'm going to come into pleasure. Or if I start with black and go with big circle, it's going to become white. So creating that circle. No, if I start with love, eventually love might turn into fear, and then the fear turns into love. So wide, big circles, going back, one sitting bone forward, the other sitting bone behind you, creating a big circle, going one way and then the other. And then maybe go in different directions. So within that circle, how can you move? There's so many ways to move within that circle. Maybe you want to go diagonal. Maybe you want to go, I don't know, back and forth or mini circles. And then eventually coming back to neutral. This time, place your feet in Tadasana. So big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. And then lift that right knee up, creating circles. One way and then the other way. And then stepping that foot out wide. Elbows to knees, fingertips together. And then lengthen the spine. And then release down, let the head be heavy. Maybe walk the hands forward. Maybe walk the hands behind you. And then eventually inhale and come back up. Place the foot on top of the knee. Maybe use the fingers to open up the toes. Seated pigeon. And then slide the knees together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and turn away from the knee. Look behind you for a twisting motion. And then release, come back to neutral. Lift that left knee up, creating big circles. One way, and then the other way. And then stepping out wide, elbows to knees, fingertips together, lengthen the spine. Breathe. And this time, if you want to, you can place the left hand on the floor in front of your face. And then the right hand goes on the right knee. And then push into the floor, push into the and look up towards the sky. If you want to, you can let that right hand reach up towards the ceiling. That's another possibility. And then release all the way down, let the head be heavy. Inhale, come back up. Elbows to knees, fingertips together. Lengthen the spine. And then we're going to try the other hand. So place the right hand on the floor in front of the face, left hand on left knee. Push into both hands, look up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Maybe bring that left hand up towards the sky. And then release, let the head be heavy. Inhale, come back up. And then place the left foot on top of the right knee. Use the fingertips to open up the toes. Seated pigeon. And then slide the knees together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and turn away from that knee. Look behind you. And then release and come back to neutral. Okay, we're going to work those legs a little bit. So widen the feet a little bit, transfer the weight, and come up to standing. And then pick a number. So I'll pick the number 10. So we're going to bend the knees, barely touch the seat, and then come up and down a few times. So pick a number that works for you. Okay, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, now 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And then take a break. Shake it out. And then we're going to do it one more time. So come back up again and then pick a number. It could be less, it could be more, it could be the same. Oh, I'm going to pick 10 again. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And shake it out. Okay, this time we're going to come up to standing and we're going to stay up there. Transfer the weight forward, all the way up. Okay, blinking, bubbling stars. All the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over. Straighten the elbows. And then let the body go from side to side. Maybe reach, and maybe feel how the skin on the sides of your body are stretching and the lungs are stretching, opening up. And then reach up, turn, bring the arms out wide, look behind you. And release. Blinking, bubbling stars all the way up, clasp the hands, turn them over. And go from side to side. Reach, 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 turn to the other side, let the arms go wide, look behind you. And release. And then let the arms go. Let the arms go from side to side. Maybe bend the knees. And then start to move around, just move around, not really thinking about how you're moving, like dancing like no one is watching. And then start bringing the knee to elbow, knee connecting with elbow. Starting with the same side, the right side connects, left side connects. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, cross the midline. And then hands on your hips, and then wake up the front and the hamstrings. And then lift to the side, lifting to the side, waking up the outer hip. And this time, lean to one side and then lift the leg, coming into to a balancing posture. Breathe. And then try the other side. So lean to one side and lift one foot off the floor. And then release. Okay, now open up the fingers, open up the fingers. Now imagine fear. Imagine fear. Give fear a color. Imagine fear as a color. And then we're going to push that color away. Push fear away. Push fear away. Push it away. And then fear is going to come and creep back in. And it's going to be hard to resist, but you can do it. You're going to push it away, push it away, push it away, push it away. Maybe kick it. It's going to try to sneak back in. Maybe kick to the side. and kick behind you. And then eventually you can release the hands and fear is gone. Okay, let's do 3 sun salutations. 3 sun salutations. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees gently. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale down the midline. That was 1. Number 2. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale down the midline. That was 2. Last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale down the midline. And then stay there, holding your own heart in between your hands with love and compassion. And release. Okay, let's step back to warrior 1. So big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Inhale to chair posture. Exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, right heel comes off. Take a big step back. Find the earth behind you with the toes and then the heels, or the heel rather. Now building warrior 1 from the ground up. Add some blinking, bubbling stars. Place your hands in your back pockets. Find your heart space. Imagine how you're breathing right into that heart space. And then release the hands, transfer the weight forward, pick that back foot up. Pick the opposite hand off the chair. You can stay here, or if you want to, you can add some movement. And then bring the feet back together, bend the knees and come back up to standing. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. Take a big step back, find the earth behind you with the toes and then the heel. Warrior 1, simply observing, gathering information, using all the 5 senses to gather the information. Blinking, bubbling stars all the way up, and then place your hands in your back pockets. Find your heart space. And imagine how breaths are going right into your heart space. Transfer the weight forward. Hold on to the chair. Pick that back foot up. Bring the opposite hand off the chair. You can stay here, or if you want to, you can add some movement. And then bring the feet back together, bend the knees, and come up to standing. Okay, this time stepping back to warrior 2. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, right heel comes off. Take a big step back. This time, open up the pelvic halves. One arm in the front, one in the back. Warrior two. Flip the front hand and reverse the warrior. And then bring everything forward, elbow to knee, extended side angle. Finding your way back to the present moment and warrior two. Hands on your hips, straighten that front knee. Let the hand slide down, or maybe place the hand on the chair for Trikonasana. If you want to, you can look up towards the sky. Maybe bring that hand up towards the sky. And then bring the gaze down, hand comes down, rebend that front knee, finding warrior two again. And then this time, bring the arms forward, pick up that back leg. Maybe same hand, right leg and right arm comes off, if that's available to you. And then bring the feet together, bend the knees, and come back up to standing. Other side. Inhale to chair. Exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. Take a big step back, open up the pelvic halves, finding warrior two. One arm in the past, one arm in the future. Flip the front hand and reverse the warrior. What did you learn from the past? And then take that wisdom with you into the future. How can you make better plans for the future? And then finding your way back to the present moment. What is one baby step? What is one baby step that I can do right now? Hands on the hips, straighten that front knee, and then let the hands slide down, maybe on the chair for Trikonasana. If you want to, you can bring the gaze up towards the sky. And then maybe let that arm go up high too. Bring the gaze down, bring the hand with you, rebend the front knee, finding warrior two one more time. And then place the hands on the chair, pick up that back foot. Maybe bring the same hand off the chair. And then bring the feet back together, bend the knees, and come back up to standing. Okay, tree posture. Big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Standing up tall. Breathe. Now transfer the weight to the left, right heel comes off the floor. This might be it. This is already a balancing posture. This might be it. If you want to, you can bring that right knee out a little bit. And then maybe pick up the toe. Maybe pick up the toe, even if it's just for a moment. Maybe stand there, maybe count to 1, 2, 3. And then you put the foot back down. And then try again. And this time, maybe you can count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or maybe this is easy for you and you'd like to try a traditional tree posture. Or maybe you want to do something completely different. And then finding your way back to Tadasana, mountain. Transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. This is already a balancing posture, is slightly stressful for the body. Bring your awareness to your breathing. Lengthen the inhale, lengthen the exhale to turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. And then bring that left knee out a little bit wider if you want to. Maybe pick up the foot. Maybe finding a traditional tree posture. Or maybe come up with your own balancing posture. One that's unique to you. And then eventually finding your way back to mountain. And then we're going to end with placing the hands on the chair. Bring the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Spread the toes. Release the knees down. Keep the toes tucked to open up the toes. Blinking, bubbling stars. Place your hands in your back pockets. If you allowed your heart to lead, what would happen? If you allowed your heart to lead, what would happen? And then untuck the toes. Bring the knees a little bit wider, big toes to touch. Release the hips to heels, finding a child's posture. Inhale, come back up. Clasp the hands. Create that triangle. Tuck the toes. Lean onto your support that you just created. Pick the knees off the floor and come up to dolphin posture. Stay here for a few breaths. And then bend the knees and come all the way up, back to standing. Okay, let's do the seated meditation now. So we're starting with wisdom from others, reminding ourselves that we are constantly learning. We are students of yoga. Sometimes we might be teaching, but we're always students of yoga. Okay, so from Dalai Lama's little book of wisdom. The important thing is to use human intelligence and judgment and to be mindful of the benefits for long-term and short-term happiness. Up to a certain point, the body itself is a good indicator. For instance, if some sort of food causes you discomfort one day, then later you will not want to consume that type of food. It seems that at a certain stage, the body itself can tell us what is suitable for well-being and happiness and what is not. Okay, so with that in mind, We will be meditating for about 9 minutes today. So finding your seat, sitting up tall, maybe lift the heels and the toes a few times, finding the sitting bones, crown of the head. And then if you want, you can keep your eyes open or a low gaze or closed. And then bring your awareness to your breathing, noticing the inhale, noticing the exhale. And then the mind is going to wander off. And then eventually just bring it back to your breathing. So let's try that for about 8 minutes. Okay, here we go. And wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, take a deep breath in, let it go. If you want to, you can bring your hands up in Anjali Mudra, holding your own heart in between your hands with love and compassion. Maybe bow your head in gratitude for this practice, thousands of years old. Thank you, inner guide, your past, present, and future teachers, and all the people that are joining you on this journey. Open your eyes, raise your gaze, and thank you so much for practicing together this morning. Namaste.